What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are going to be jumping into Uncanny Avengers, the full story, as we jump into the Fall of X, the Hellfire Gala showing us the demise of mutant kind. The mutant genocide is in full effect. Mutants that have not been killed, they are being extracted all the way to Arakko, sending them to Mars. But then you have Captain America. After an attempt on his life, he knows who the true enemy is, and that is Orchis. So he reforms the Unity Squad. But there is a bigger foe out there. Somebody is wearing the Captain Krakoan suit, the battle suit that Forge had made, empowering the individual way beyond the powers that they currently have. And unfortunately for the Unity Squad, the person that is wearing this suit, though they don't know it yet, is HYDRA Captain America. As he tries to push his Nazi agenda upon everybody, it is up to Cap and his team to bring him down before it is too late. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up a little bit ago. Before the Fall of X, we have Dr. Stasis and MODOK. Inside the lair of Dr. Stasis, he has a weapon that he has been keeping secret. Somebody who has been asleep for quite some time. And with Dr. Stasis waking him up, they let him know that the world has changed. America has gone downhill, and the mutants have formed their own country, informing them that they work with Orchis, the humble servants of humanity, as they say, and the day is fast approaching when they will wipe the mutants off the face of the earth. And so they are offering this individual an opportunity to cement a new world order in mankind's image. With this person breaking out of the glass, Dr. Stasis knows exactly the uniform that they are going to give him. The uniform of Captain Krakoa. This is what picks us up with our reporter Ben Urich. Front page of the Daily Bugle, Captain Krakoa and the Mutant Massacre. Now, Ben is the owner of the Daily Bugle, and he has been going over all the events that have transpired ever since mutant kind formed their nation. From the treehouse to the medicine, knowing that Cyclops was operating under the name of Captain Krakoa, he finds it very unbelievable that Cyclops is the man to attack Washington, D.C. That Captain Krakoa was a false flag operation. But regardless, it is working. Fear of Krakoa and mutants in general has never been higher, and he knows that Orchis is behind a lot of this. While Orchis is trying to play like the saviors, Ben knows better. He knows that they are doing something more sinister, and he is determined to get at the very source of all of this. This is what takes us to Kansas City, an Orchis filtration center. The option to get rid of your mutant ability or be exported off planet. As the line goes to a dead stop, a woman in a cloak, an Orchis agent coming to show her a lesson. But as he approaches, a sword is drawn, and the Orchis agent's throat is slit. With the cloak coming off, we see that this is Psylocke, trained by the Hand to be an assassin. After the Mutant Massacre, Psylocke has set her sight on Orchis. And like we have seen over and over and over again, kill no human is off the board. Orchis agents are fair game. This is a fight for survival, and those with the ability to take out Orchis, they are doing so with a vengeance. Now, Psylocke's mutant gift was always a psychic knife, but in these situations, she doesn't need to use it. She opts for the more lethal tools, for her swords. By her side is Penance. The two of them have been tracking down these camps all over the country and freeing as many people as possible. Really just being a thorn in the side to Orchis, letting them know that mutants will not go quietly into the night. They will not perish without a fight. As Psylocke cuts her way through the ranks, one by one, she is massacring these guys. Many have asked what happened to the children on Krakoa. As Psylocke cuts her way through them, she says that there were many children on the island. We can only assume that some of them or many of them had died. We don't know how many got through the gateways. Now, as we have seen in previous issues, 250,000 are stuck in the desert. But how many children lost their lives on Krakoa, with the nursery and everything in between? Were they able to make an escape, or were they taken out? But as she cuts her way through all of these Orchis members, this is where her sword meets a shield. The shield of Captain America. Psylocke not surprised to see him fighting against mutant kind. As she prepares to take on Captain America, he throws his shield, and he is letting her know that he is not here to fight her. That he has experience fighting fascism, that it took him a couple nights to pinpoint her location. But if he could, Orchis will eventually catch up as well. He is here to offer them positions on his new Avengers team. With penance in his mind, as much as she can at least, she sees that this is not a trap. Psylocke is worried that her methods are not going to be appreciated or accepted by Captain America. She is under the impression that they killed hundreds of thousands of mutants, and the only thing that Cap has to say is avenge them. And so by appearances, it looks like Captain America is telling her to keep doing what you are doing. This is where we have the arrival of Deadpool and Quicksilver, two of his recruits that are now fighting on the Unity Squad, with Penance and Psylocke deciding to join up with them, thinking that if they ever go soft, if they ever decide that their methods are too much, they will simply leave the Unity Squad. But with there being an anti-mutant rally in DC tonight, Captain America believes that Captain Krakoa is going to show up. As they make their exit, they see the Stark Sentinels overhead. Cap lets it be known that Tony is working on a solution to take these things down. But this is more of an engineering problem than an actually face-to-face head-on brawl with them. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we have Rogue, who is staking out Orchis stations. She is seeing how close she can get before they recognize that she is coming in on them. She is able to get within 200 meters before they are able to detect her. And so while the Unity Squad is forming, we pick up with a new X-Men team. One made up of Wildside, Blob, and Captain Krakoa. Now, Blob and Wildside, they believe that they are following Cyclops. He is yet to take his helmet off. As they fly over Krakoa, he is going down into the pit, and Captain Krakoa has told a lot of lies, saying that he's invisible to Stark Sentinels, that he lied about his name, he lied about everything. But as he makes his way down onto the island, he breaks into the pit, and this is where he runs into the Nazi twins. They also believe that he is Cyclops, but with him down in the pit, we have to wonder, where is Sinister? What is he up to? Has he already escaped? Or is this giving him the opportunity to escape? But with the Nazis joining up on his side, we are taken down into the sewers. This is where the Unity Squad has been meeting up, and they will meet up for future meetings. As they get down here, they run into Emma and Tony Stark. We also have the arrival of Shadowcat, Rasputin, and Miss Marvel. Shadowcat is letting it be known that Rasputin will be leading an assault on Nimrod. As we see the Unity Squad slowly starting to form, Quicksilver comes in saying that he found his targets. With Cap cutting this meeting short, he tells the Unity Squad to get on his six because they are about to go take him out. Quicksilver grabbing them one by one, transporting them to the location. This is what leads them to Captain Krakoa. They are after atomic weapons, with Captain Krakoa and his forces forming the new Mutant Liberation Front. We see this fight get underway. Deadpool winding up with a hole in his stomach from the Nazis. Rogue trying to let Blob know that he is fighting on the wrong side. But Captain America has his eyes set on one man, Captain Krakoa. As Cap charges in on Captain Krakoa, the Krakoan battlesuit was designed to amplify the strengths of ordinary non-combatants. This gives them an edge during an extinction level event. But whoever is underneath this mask, he is much stronger than an ordinary human. With Captain Krakoa telling Captain America that his attacks are obvious and predictable. He is going to break that habit, and he is going to do so literally. Grabbing onto the shield that is connected to Captain America's arm, Captain Krakoa twists that shield, and we see him literally break Captain America's arm. Right, gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Captain Krakoa standing over the body of Captain America. as he lifts Cap up, getting ready to pierce Captain America right through the throat. This is when a bullet comes out of left field and hits Captain Krakoa in the chest. Though it may not penetrate, it throws him off his game. That bullet came from Black Widow. Now, Black Widow, she wasn't invited onto this team, but after Captain America's almost assassination, Black Widow has been shadowing him as Captain Krakoa gets back up to his feet. The battlesuit already self-healing. That's when Captain America tries to get up. He begins to give orders, telling Quicksilver to get behind the enemy lines, that there will be a second team working on the base. And as Quicksilver heads out, he makes a quick stop, knocking our Nazi twin right in the face. Because anytime you get a chance to punch a Nazi, you're gonna do it. But with Quicksilver making his way inside the facility, none of these soldiers stood a single chance. The only problem, he's being a little overconfident. What he didn't expect was the gas. This room almost instantly fills up with gas, and Quicksilver, he is knocked unconscious. Just like that, one of the fastest assets that they have is taken out of the game, with Penance fighting Blob. Blob saying that he doesn't want to be fighting them, that they should be working together. But Captain Krakoa comes up and he tells Blob that Penance, Rogue, Psylocke, they are all traitors to their species. As they prepare for their exfil, we see that Captain Krakoa also stole the Thunderbird. As they begin to take off, we see that Black Widow has an old shield clunker. Flying it out of the hangar, the Nazi twins shoot it right out of the sky, with Unity being defeated, with Captain Krakoa being able to make his escape. Right now, our heroes, they just lost a huge battle. And so Cap, he wants to get back to base. He wants to regroup and maybe rethink their tactics. This is what takes us to Ellis Island, the home base of Steve Rogers' reconstituted Unity Squad. Captain America just so happening to have one of Bucky's old arms. He goes ahead and he puts it on. Now, the Super Soldier Serum, this is all going to help him heal relatively quick, but the frame of this robotic arm is going to keep him in the fight. With him throwing his shield, he sees that everything is right as rain. That's when Rogue and the others come into the room. Rogue is ready to have a conversation, something that she doesn't do lightly. But Rogue, Psylocke, Penance, and even Quicksilver, they're letting Cap know that this is taking too long, and they don't think that he should be leading this team any longer. Rogue says that she is taking over the Unity Squad, that they still want him around, but his position at the tip of the spear. She believes that this is a mistake, that so many mutants have already died or are missing, and if Captain Krakoa kills an Avenger, the world would not hesitate to fall in line behind Orchis. And if they do kill Captain America, they won't be just fighting Orchis and the Sentinels and the rest of it. They will be fighting the entire world. This is where Cap, putting on his hat, he says that he appreciates their concern, but he does recall the same arguments when he deployed to Europe to fight the Nazis. What if Captain America should fall? And the answer is the same today as it was then when he went into the ice. If he does his job right, if Captain America falls, then everyone else is inspired to rise to the occasion. With Captain America making his exit, this is where an unlikely person is the voice of reason. That person being Deadpool. He tells the mutants that you guys are pretty funny, that you're a real crack-up. All you do is lose. Now, Rogue says she's not in the mood for joking, but Deadpool, for once, is not joking. The truth is, he hasn't had time to change his underwear since they last lost a war. There was the first mutant massacre, then there was the new one, several infernos. And then how do you guys react to Cap being injured? You want to chase away the one guy that you should always bet on. The one guy who never loses, even when folks around him do. In Deadpool's eyes, that's not a smart play. He is definitely Team Cap, that when the chips are down, you can't make decisions out of fearfulness. Getting that out of the way, he says, what the hell does Orchis want with a US military nuclear weapon anyway? This is what takes us up to the Bloom. We have MODOK and we have our Sinister, Dr. Stasis. And they are discussing why Captain Krakoa stole nuclear weapons. This was not his mission. This was not his job. Now, he's supposed to be whipping up anti-mutant sentiments, and he is definitely improvising. But they do worry on what his end goal is. And then they consider that it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing for Captain Krakoa to nuke an American city. This is where we hop over to Captain Krakoa and his team, as everybody is getting some shut-eye, getting some food. Right now, Andrea is in there taking a shower, and this is when Captain Krakoa, he goes in there to take a shower with her. As he goes to do this, Andrea says that my sister is in there, and Captain Krakoa doesn't care, completely ignoring him going in there and taking off his mask. And it appears that Andrea knows exactly who this is. He tells her that if you tell anybody who I really am, even the other members in our squad, then it won't be such a gentle embrace the next time. As these two get busy in the showers, her brother huffing and puffing on the outside. This is what takes us to our reporter and Captain America. And he is obviously ready to work with Cap. He helped him take down Kingpin, though it didn't really do much good in the end. The truth does matter. And Captain America is letting him know that it's not Cyclops running around as Captain Krakoa. The true identity of Captain Krakoa is very important, but it needs to lead them to the people that are pulling the strings, which is Orchis, which means they need evidence, because if they're going to try to take down an organization that is essentially filling the shoes of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're going to need some ironclad evidence to prove this. They know that brute force isn't getting them out of this. Cyclops had told the truth, and his people paid a price. He believes he owes it to Cyclops to write the truth about this so-called mutant massacre on Krakoa. Now, rumor has it that there were no human witnesses, but our reporter has heard that maybe there is, that even the mutants are sitting on a human witness from the Hellfire Gala this year, something that Captain America hadn't heard yet, but he is about to do some digging. As we pick up at the Empire State Building, the nuclear weapon that was stolen has arrived here, and there is a pit in the stomach of Captain America. He knows that there is something more going on here. Something is telling him that the mutant massacre was only the beginning of all the carnage. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we're picking up on Ellis Island, the current headquarters for the Unity Squad, with Deadpool and Black Widow both doing some target practice on some pumpkins. Black Widow doing this blindfolded, only going to show how absolutely surgical she is with a rifle. But as everyone is training and preparing, this is when Rogue comes up saying that Steve is in trouble. He sent out another distress code, and so Rogue and Quicksilver, they take off. They hightail it over to New York, to the X-Men treehouse. This is where Captain America has called a press conference. He is bringing together all of the press and all of the people. He lets them all know that he just did something he has always told his fellow Avengers would get them kicked off the team. He sent out a distress call to make them think that he is in mortal danger. But he did this for a good reason. He wanted the press and the people to meet the individuals, the heroes, that are willing to rush headfirst into danger to save Captain America. And as Captain America points out, many of these people on my team are mutants. Now, people in the crowd begin to say that the mutants attacked them, but Cap says that it does appear that way. But in this country, we have the presumption of innocence. Nobody has been convicted in a court of law. He also goes on to say that he doesn't know who is wearing the Captain Krakoa suit, but it is not Cyclops. And in his opinion, it's probably not a mutant either. But even with Cap speaking, this doesn't seem to be appeasing the crowd. When somebody throws a drink at him, he holds Deadpool, making sure that Deadpool doesn't do anything in this situation. And Captain America continues on, saying that this country has been fractured. There is an organization that is benefiting from all of this. As we quickly look over at the Orchis headquarters, MODOK, Fei Long, and Dr. Stasis, they know that what Captain America is doing is going to be devastating, but they have figured out a way to clean all of this up. Captain America had said that there has not been a trial, not a single conviction. Dr. Stasis plans to change that. The only question is, will they use Cyclops or Xavier? And back at the press conference, many of the people are upset because mutant kind, they're not seen as American anymore. That they moved away, they have their own island. And if Cap's being honest, he wasn't happy when the mutants did that either. That his mutant friends felt like their health and safety couldn't be guaranteed in America. That they needed something more than America. But Cap is loyal to the dream. And America needs to hear the truth in order to be better. That truth is that the American dream isn't the promise it should be. Because fear is being weaponized. Americans shouldn't be afraid of different races. We shouldn't be afraid of the poor and addicted. Shouldn't be afraid of what you're reading. Shouldn't be afraid of what you're wearing. You shouldn't be afraid of differences, political or otherwise. Not afraid of how someone lives or what somebody loves. and we should always have a very healthy skepticism for anybody that says we should be afraid of the person next to us. Always ask why. And this brings Captain back to his original point. He is skeptical of the official story. He is very concerned about Orchis. He knows that they are being less than honest, and that is Captain America's truth. With the press conference being over and Cap talking to Ben, he lets the reporter know that he has a meeting later on this evening that might interest him, and then he goes over to Rogue. Captain America has heard that there is a witness to the Hellfire Gala, a human witness that saw all of it transpire, someone who may be able to refute the story that Orchis is telling. He would like to introduce this witness to Ben. At first, Rogue is a little hesitant, not sure if she wants to give up who this individual is, but Cap tells her that you have to trust me, that they must share the witness. This is where we pick up with Penance and Quicksilver, not really knowing what her plan is at first. We see the two of them go into disguise, walking around the mall, and when they had fought the Nazi twins, Penance had smelled a perfume that her father bought for her mother, trying to pick up any clue on where the Nazi twins might be. But Penance has miscalculated, because the Nazi twins, they are here, and they immediately attack. The twins, using their combined power, they begin to knock down pillars. And while Penance is able to hold it, she tells Quicksilver to get all the innocents out of the building, as they prepare to attack Penance while she is holding the pillars. Quicksilver comes in and hits the Von Struckers, and then Quicksilver gets to work on fixing the pillar, doing everything he can to make sure that this thing holds. This gives Penance the opportunity to take care of the Nazis. Not usually one for violence, she's making an exception today. With Quicksilver being done with the pillar, he rushes in and breaks the twins apart. And then Penance starts laying into Andrea. She wants to know who is Captain Krakoa. They want to know where is the bomb. After giving these two a beatdown, not getting any information out of him, the Von Struckers saying that they are going to be killed if they say anything. This is when that pillar begins to break away. Quicksilver may have been able to get it holding for a moment, but it wasn't secure enough to stay good, and so Penance running over and grabbing the pillar. Quicksilver goes to clear out the building, and the Von Struckers get the opportunity to run. On any other day, he could have simply ran up and caught them, but what we learned is he left his Avengers ID card on one of them. So no matter how far they run, they will be able to track them down. That's when Quicksilver goes in for a kiss, and then they head back to Ellis Island before the twins discover what they had done. Meanwhile, we pick up at the office of the Daily Bugle. Captain America here to meet up with Ben. They are waiting for this mysterious individual. Even Captain America doesn't know the identity of the X-Men's witness, but they have agreed to have him meet them here. And when that witness walks into the room, neither of them expected it to be this man. And this man is none other than Kingpin. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at Empire State University. We pick up with Dr. Stasis giving a speech. While doing his little presentation talking to all of these students, a question is proposed, asking if he was at the Hellfire Gala the night of the Mutant Massacre, because he was quoted saying the humans were all dead by the time Orchis arrived, asking if Dr. Stasis would like to amend that statement. The question coming from Ben Urich. As soon as Dr. Stasis sees that this is the reporter, he tries to hightail it out of here. Ben is letting Dr. Stasis know that a witness to the events of the massacre have come forward, and this is not a mutant witness, it is a human witness. With Dr. Stasis having nothing to say, Ben tells him that he can read all about it in tomorrow's paper. This is what takes us over to Captain Krakoa, as he tells his little team that he is about to head off and take on an Orchis space station. He lets them know that if anything happens to me, make sure that you hit the rendezvous point. As he takes off to the sky, Dr. Stasis gets in contact. When asked about the nuke, Captain Krakoa says that that is insurance. But Dr. Stasis also brings up the fact that a reporter just asked about Captain Krakoa's identity, and it appears that somebody has talked. Dr. Stasis telling him who the reporter is. He is sending Captain Krakoa after Ben Urich. But with that currently happening, we have Captain America and the Unity Squad showing up to this location ready to take down Captain Krakoa's team. Black Widow the first one to come in, having a pistol to Wildside. Wildside laughing at her, saying that his mutant gift lets him crack open her brain and pull out the worst suffering. When he tries to do this, Black Widow just laughs at him, and then she unloads multiple rounds into his chest, not penetrating but definitely knocking the wind out of him. With Wildside down on the ground, Psylocke, using her powers, she dives into his brain to try and get any information on where the nuke and Captain Krakoa may be. But Wildside knows nothing. This is when Blob comes in. Captain America jumping in, using his shield, trying to stop Blob, trying to let him know that you are fighting on the wrong side, that the man in that Krakoan battlesuit, that is not Cyclops. And Rogue is sitting here trying to reason with Blob, trying to let him know that you are doing the wrong thing. But while that conversation is ongoing, we have the Nazi twins, the Von Strucker twins. With their hands clasped together, they begin to fire away. Unfortunately for them, they did not see Psylocke coming in from behind them. With a katana in each hand, we see her come down and slice off the arms of the Von Strucker twins. Technically, she could have telepathically cut off their ability to feel pain, but she wants them to sit here and feel every single bit of it. At this point, Blob has finally come around, letting Rogue know that whoever Captain Krakoa is, he said the nuke was for Dr. Stasis. With Wildside and the twins being defeated, Captain America says that he finally knows who Captain Krakoa is. They are in the wrong place, telling Blob that we will talk about your crimes later. Right now, they have 2 emergencies in New York, telling Rogue and Quicksilver to get to ESU immediately. They race over, and that is where they find Dr. Stasis. With Quicksilver surveying the building, he quickly finds the weapon. Dr. Stasis wastes no time, and he hightails it out of here. Quicksilver and Rogue, they focus on getting this bomb gone. The only problem, it is booby-trapped and they cannot disarm it. They need Captain Krakoa. This is what picks us up at the Daily Bugle. Ben sitting here reading the newspaper, not knowing what is about to happen. That is when the window breaks. Captain Krakoa comes flying in and he grabs hold of Ben. As he gets ready to take out the reporter, through the other window, we have Captain America. He knows how good Captain Krakoa's hearing is, even without the suit. So he was thrown once they crossed the Hudson River. He tells Captain Krakoa that this is your only chance, so stand down and tell me how to disarm that bomb. As the two of them begin to fight, Unity Squad showing up on scene. When Captain America throws his shield, Captain Krakoa is able to catch it. He throws it back and it hits everybody but Cap and Deadpool. This is when Deadpool begins to fire away. With Captain Krakoa taking the Captain America shield, he launches it at Deadpool and it cuts Deadpool in half. That's when Captain America charges in, saying that he didn't want to believe it, not even sure how this man is still alive. With Cap throwing some heavy blows, the mask of Captain Krakoa begins to break, and it is revealed that this is, in fact, the HYDRA raised counterpart, Steve Rogers. This is HYDRA Captain America. Alright gang, so we pick up a couple weeks ago. We pick up with HYDRA Cap telling Sinister that you should call me Grant Rogers. Grant being the middle name of Steve Rogers. Feeling as if Steve is just too tainted, he refuses to go by Steve Rogers any longer. But this is him being tasked out by Sinister, being given his mission, being given the Captain Krakoa suit. This is where it all began, and that is what takes us to present day. Captain America on the ground, ready to be taken out by our evil Steve Rogers, what they refer to as Steve-ul. Right as Steve-ul goes to take out Cap, that is when Deadpool comes up and he starts chomping on the leg of Steve-ul, with Grant Rogers putting one right into the chest of Deadpool again, still missing half his body. He goes to put out Deadpool permanently, but that is when Psylocke jumps in, telepathically communicating with the other Avengers, letting them know that it is going going to be impossible to beat him with Forge's battlesuit on. So their objective is to get that suit off of him. One by one, each of them try to do so, but they find themselves failing, with the HYDRA cap just beating the crap out of our Uncanny Avengers. We see Captain America pick up Deadpool, Deadpool telling him to throw me like one of your vibranium girls. We go for a fastball special, chucking Deadpool at HYDRA cap. Deadpool grabs hold of him and he starts biting anywhere he can bite, giving Captain America the opportunity to try and take his shield back. While this is going on, Rogue and the others are trying to figure out what to do with this nuclear device. It does have a retinal scanner. It is booby-trapped, so they believe that the retinal scanner might be their only option, with HYDRA Cap saying he can stop it. Captain America says, if you can stop it, so can I. But Psylocke peeping into the mind of HYDRA Cap, we learn that the retinal scanner, it is another trigger. It is designed to atomize Captain America, with Rogue having no other option. She grabs this nuke and she takes off, thinking maybe they can take it to space. Unfortunately, the International Space Station is headed their way. Rogue is headed towards Area 51, in the middle of the desert where nobody is. Deadpool begging for somebody to do something. Captain America telling Deadpool that maybe she'll survive, but HYDRA Cap making fun of Wade, making fun of him because he never told Rogue how he truly felt. In the blink of an eye, we see Deadpool is gone, because Quicksilver has made his arrival. Deadpool holding on to Quicksilver letting him know that he's gonna have a fraction of a second to save Rogue's life. He'll do this by sharing his healing factor. Quicksilver can't outrun the bomb after it detonates, so he is going to get him as close as he can, pin him down. It'll be up to him to hold on from there, as we see Rogue drop that nuke. In the blast radius, Rogue begins to take on a heavy hit. The skin, the muscle, every bit of her fiber burning off of her body. But that is where we have the hand of Deadpool that grabs hold of hers. With the mushroom cloud going up, these two skeletons look at this explosion. Deadpool saying that he's been meaning to ask, what do you see in Gambit anyways? With Rogue thanking Deadpool, Deadpool says that you never have to thank me. By sharing his healing factor, he has just saved Rogue's life. As we pick back up with the Uncanny Avengers, HYDRA Cap on the table. They have learned that Orchis has their own resurrection because of Selene. They brought back the dark reflection of Captain America. Now Ben Urich believes that the next few weeks are gonna go poorly for Orchis. People are now questioning the organization. Wilson Fisk has come to the surface as the human that was at the Hellfire Gala. Weeks after the capture of Grant Rogers, aka Captain Krakoa, they had hoped justice would be done. But on the day of the trial, they were reminded how perverted justice has become. Some folks gathered to celebrate, others to commiserate. There were brawls, there were violence, but coming from those steps, we have Grant Rogers being found innocent on all charges. He goes to the podium and begins to give a speech. A cop coming up to him letting him know that his secret empire perseveres. And then he goes on a whole speech that's really just talking about humans being awesome, being super cool, but wanting to get rid of mutants. That he sees them side by side living peacefully, but his idea of peace is the mutants dead. He is doing a call to arms, saying that man loves and mutants kill. And unfortunately, this flag did not protect him. The flag that was once a symbol of a nation of men. And it is the government that let down mankind. So from now on, he declares himself a flag smasher, ripping the American flag in half. Telling the people from now on, he will not let a flag separate him from any of his fellow humans. Together, today, humanity stands united. That it is not the color of their flag, it is the merit of their genes that make them brothers and sisters. In giving this speech, Deadpool throws a coffee at him. Looking to Captain America, they expected him to be more angry. But once you've gotten to his age, you learn to keep your powder dry. America is the best but most frustrating country in the world. Worth fighting for, worth dying for. But Captain America would bet on him and his friends over them any day. And they haven't lost yet. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. A relatively short comic, all in all, the Uncanny Avengers wasn't that bad of a comic. Now, one thing that I have voiced pretty regularly is that you have the Uncanny Avengers, and I felt like they could have been doing more. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand taking down Captain Krakoa was essential. He's out here smearing the name of mutant kind. Stopping a nuclear weapon, obviously on the top of the list. I just hope that we get to see Captain America and everybody else really taking the fight to them. And that appears to be what's happening. The fall of X wasn't so much trying to have mutant kind fight back. It was seeing their demise, seeing how far down they can go. But now everybody appears to be on the same page, with all the little miniseries coming to a close. Each and every one of these comics ends the same way. It is finally time to take the fight to Orchis. No more sitting on the sidelines. No more dealing with small individuals. No more one-on-one fights. They are going for the throat. They are going to bring down the entire organization. They are going to show the world who Orchis really is. The mutant civil war has come to an end. Everybody is finally on the same page, which means the real war, it is about to begin. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.